So a customer came in looking for a custom piece, and so what we did was we just came up with an idea, some colors and some patterns they liked, and luckily it was a lot of like patterns that I like to do, a lot of line work I like to do, so I felt right at home making it, and I was really excited to make it because I thought it was going to go really smooth and go together really quick. What was that about sitting on the computer, not blowing glass?
I'm fucking working today.
I don't think so. Oh, you are working, huh?
Yeah, I'm fucking working.
Why aren't you doing this on the front computer?
What? Don't have, because the pictures are back here, the editing software is back here. I have to upload it to the editor from here. Don't give me that fucking shit.
I'm ordering lunch.
Alright. What am I putting on here?
What?
What am I putting on here?
You're the one holding the fucking iPod, dude.
It's a monumental decision. Music sets up everything.
To make the color pattern they wanted, I had to first make my own tube cane. So what I did, I coated half of it in white, and then they wanted was a step down of specific colors. Then what I did is I took little sections of that tube cane and I went back and forth, and I created these little wigwags, we call them. Stacked those all together, added some clear, added a white bowl cap, because that's what they wanted. We'll do something. Dude, I'm sitting here I've been making custom work all fucking day. Shut the fuck up, dude, no. I've been playing the music. I've been selling fucking shit to the customers. I'm doing custom work. What have you done? Nothing. You've been on the computer all day.
I made that whole order by myself.
No, you didn't. You made the tail end of that order by yourself.
No, I went back. It was 5 o'clock. I did it all. And then I had to go back and add more because all of a sudden there's more.
Whatever, man. I did fucking 4 custom pieces today. Well, are you gonna put some fucking music on or what? Oh my god!
I know you're not.
Are you leaving?
Yep.
What time is it?
About 7:30.
Say Friday?
No, I got to put my blood, dude. Stuff all my blood.
Alright.
Let's ask about the rest of the staff what time they got here today. Raj, what time you get here today? Andy, what time you get here today? Alright. No one else knows.
You're the only one that likes money.
What?
You're the only one that likes money. Tube and kiln. Oh wait, there's nobody here. It's just me, like always. on. We got a custom order this month of a dragon tube with a dragon perk. Custom work is something that has always separated us from other shops. The fact that we've always blown on site has always given us the advantage to do things like that. And I can remember, shopping as a teenager when in the 90s when glass was really starting to pick up, and when the stores would offer custom work, but they had to send it all the way back to Oregon to have it done. So immediately when we opened up, first thing people kept asking was, will you make me something special? And I was like, okay, tattoo artists do it. When I brought my mom's shoe shop, she did things on site, and it was just kind of, I guess, a part of who I am. When it's a good project and I can really get behind it, the result turns out great. If it's something that I have to struggle with, or the person doesn't have a good enough idea of even what they want, it's really hard. And to try and fit all those things into one particular budget is even harder. And I think that's why a lot of people and glass blowers don't want to do custom work.
So I didn't chase the moisture all the way out, so it's got all these dirty, nasty marks in there. Can't use that.
If you can remember back to the cake topper, sometimes custom work can go terribly wrong. You never know what happens when you get into custom work. That's why you gotta try and price it for everything possibly to go wrong. For you to spend the amount of time that you put into it, and to have it literally just drop on the floor and you have to remake it, you have to make sure that you get that compensated in the price that you quote, and still have it in a reasonable price.
So to make a dragon head for the exterior tube, since I already made the dragon head for the interior of the tube.
After a couple of drawings and some measurements, I had to make the one dragon a couple times to make sure it would fit inside the tube. But after everything, started getting figured out and things started getting together, things started going pretty smooth. I only stock so many different size tubes in-house because we don't only have so much storage for space, and we only need so much tubing for certain things. So usually when you would sleeve something like this, you would probably want to make the dragon first and maybe order tubing to fit inside of it. So I just made the dragon hoping that it would fit in the tubing I had in stock. It wasn't quite right, so I made another one, and just shrunk it down just a little bit smaller than the first one, and I slid it right in there perfectly. After I made the dragon that slides inside the tube, I had to go over to the water saw and cut a couple of slits in there so that way the smoke can go through the dragon head and into the water and up the rest of the tube. This saw is a pretty important, vital tool. I mean, it's not necessary, you don't need one, but it's handy to have. I didn't necessarily need to cut the slits in there. I could have popped holes with pressure and done holes that way, but it's just a different style, different look. This saw is really useful if you're cutting big rod or big tubing, if you're cutting small slits. It all depends on the blade you have and the saw you have and what the purpose is. It's just like any tool. I'm still relatively new to the lathe, only been on the lathe for about a year or so. So the project was challenging for me. It was, pretty involved. But once it started going together and the seals were fine, I was pretty confident the tube was going to turn out all right. It's always rewarding to get through a custom piece that you enjoyed making and it turned out really nice, and the customer is going to be satisfied with it. It's just a really good feeling. I hope the customer is super psyched to see it. A customer came in today to pick up his custom dragon tube. The customer came in and the first thing he said was, "I love it,
I was like, cool. And then he explained to me that it was for a gift for a friend of his, and how his friend really likes dragons, and I was just really happy that I could make his day.
Came in today to get a custom piece for a good friend of mine. You know, Phil just has a great reputation. I figured he could do a great job. Needed some dragons on it, told him what colors I wanted, and told him I needed it kind of quick, and next thing you know, boom, I've got a great piece. My buddy's gonna love it, and I couldn't be happier.
It's just a great feeling when a customer comes in and likes the tube, especially when it turns out that it's a gift for a friend of theirs. So our guest artists this month are Eric Anders and Bo, two amazing artists that are from right here in New York, out of Rochester.
Phil at Prism GlassWorks is doing big things for the art industry in this small city and in, you know, our scene in general. He's a professional. Prism GlassWorks, good stuff.
I knew a bunch of people who had come up here and already done previous demos, and you know, I know most of them, and they all had a good time, so I wanted to come and check it out.
I've been a big fan of Eric's for quite some time now. I've been following him pretty much since, you know, the early 2000s when he first started and I first started. He's got really nice flow to his style. He also makes these really amazing millefories. Eric brought his good friend Bo, another amazing New York artist, and he does these really cool monster series pieces, and he's like a total DIY kind of guy, and just controls everything about his product, from the, you know, from the color to the packaging to the branding to everything. He's a pretty inventive guy, and the two of them together are definitely going to make something cool. It's just great to have two awesome New York artists coming in.
Wanted to see what someone was actually doing for this industry in New York, not California. It's a harder fight in New York for the legality aspects of our industry and what we do, and you know, wanted to see how people are going to do it in New York versus the West Coast. You know, underground society of sorts. You know, you have to pick and choose your friends and your shop mates, your colleagues and your clientele and your wholesalers and your distributors, you know, because you don't want to get caught up in the wrong crowd and, you know, have your business suffer because of it. Super professional, nicest facility on the whole block. You know, it looks like Phil put in, you know, his fair share of time and energy with his crew to make things happen here. It's different than I've seen on the East Coast before.
I like working with Bo, you know, like he lives pretty close to me. We've done other trade shows together, competitions. He helps me like further my own progress. So I try to help him bounce ideas off each other. Any exposure is good exposure.
In anticipation for this night, the crew really got together and hustled and got the shop spick and span and ready to entertain the public and our guests. Doing these Troy Night Outs and introducing these kind of artists to the public is a little risky, because these artists are really good, and you know, I have to pay for the expenses to get them in here, and if I can't figure out a way to draw a crowd, it could be a total bust for the night, and I could be all out of pocket.
Troy Night Out is excellent experience for upstate New York and the glass industry and the glass scene. It's something that most people are not attempting to do in our industry.
It's like night and day for the neighborhood. It's like run down, beautiful.
It really pleases me when a night goes well like this, and the public is really engaged and is really accepting of what we do. And I think it's really pleasing to the artists, or the artists really, you know, are really excited when the general public shows up that aren't involved necessarily in our industry, and they come up to them and they talk to them about it, and they shake their hand and say how good of a night they had, and how much they really enjoyed watching this talented artists put their heart and soul out there. The piece was a perfect combination between both style. It had Eric Anders cut, you know, signature millefories that he makes. They had Eric Anders different impressions and metal impressions that he likes to put on pieces for texture. It also had Bo's nice shaping and color patterns and style. and the two are just a great blend, and I'm glad to have it in my shop and put on display for the public to see.
It's pretty much just a combination of my style and Anders' style. You know, we do a section, pass it off, do a section, pass it off. You know, keep switching back and forth, be able to like express both of our styles into one piece. It's what the collaboration's all about, be able to share your artistic perspective with someone and, you know, have a piece that expresses thus wise. You know, there was some deliberation and, you know, premeditation on what we were gonna do as far as assembly and structure and shape and size and color scheme, and, you know, it was a 3-day prep session talking about it before we actually even got to sitting in front of the torch and making things happen, you know. I think it's more execution of concept than it is necessarily execution of technique. Basically, once the piece is conceptualized, it's a lot easier to execute than to just, you know, go willy-nilly and start sticking pieces together, you know. We had a little bit of a game plan to where we were gonna go with it and size and shape and things of that nature. Totally happy with the final product. Nice piece to leave in Prism GlassWorks gallery on display, and you know, I'm sure Phil will sell it and make a couple bucks, and then, you know, the world keeps spinning.
It's a good representation of my style and Bo's style, you know, melded together well. I burned myself early in the process. He's going to see that. I worked through it, and it was fine, and that's just what happens. I'm happy with the piece that we ended up with.
Yeah. Eric burned himself pretty good, but things turned out okay, and the piece ended up all right.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
For the most part, the industry inspires me more than any one particular person. It's more of a collective of seeing what bounds the industry is pushing, and one color may be developed by one artist and then perfected by another artist and then executed in another technique by another artist. And this industry is different than most others because the people that are in it are what drive it to thrive, not necessarily the clientele of the industry. Or, we all put in our 2 cents and push the boundaries every day. There's another glass shop like this in every state all over the country, and every day they're just pushing the envelope to make it bigger and brighter, stronger, faster, harder,
I'm inspired by like Alex Gray and Geiger, or Giger, however you want to say it.
Sure.
Things that don't even involve glass, really. Try to cross that over and bring new things into glass.
For all those other glass shops and, entrepreneur young hustlers trying to do this shit and make the come up, keep doing it. Don't quit. Fight the good fight. Don't be a robot.
What's my style? I don't really know what my style is. I dabble in everything. If I see something I like, I want to try it just so I can incorporate that later somehow into new work. Marinis are my concentration right now. It's a little nerve-wracking sometimes, but it's good because demand is what I need to further my own success.
The reason why we do this and bring different artists in and we have them make these wonderful pieces of art is that way we can separate ourselves from all the different shops out there. This way, when people think about fine art and they think about glass art and they think about the glass industry, we want them to think about Prism GlassWorks. We want them to think about they have the talent, they have the pieces that we want. I've always perceived us as an art gallery, and I want the public to perceive us as an art gallery. Some people come in and are like, oh, this is the nicest head shop I've ever been in. And I immediately tell them that we're not a head shop, we're an art gallery. Head shops, in my definition, carry incense and posters and tie-dye tapestries and clothes and stuff like that. We don't carry anything like that. The only thing we carry is what we can make. And we also carry, things that represent this industry in the best light possible. We also have it right next to, to other fine art in the shop from other canvas artists, metal artists, stuff like that. So I think being able to bring multimedia into one spot really, really sets us apart from all the other head shops out there and really makes us a definitive art gallery. The reason why I do all these trying outs and part of the reason why we moved downtown here was so we could participate in these monthly open houses. I wanted to break the stigma of what pipe makers are. I want people to see this in the best light possible. So it's important for me to bring in artists, different artists, month after month after month after month, and really give the public a good showing and a good representation of how talented these people are. It's just always what we do. We always try and strive for the best month after month, you know? Without the support of my family and friends and the crew that works here and participates here, none of this would be possible.
Wow. It's frustrating that something so simple can go so wrong so quick. During the assembly, my flame kissed a cold part of the piece and it shattered. Didn't shatter bad. I just let it warm up. I'm gonna go back in, I'm gonna polish it up. I'm gonna finish my work, put it in the kiln, and make my customer happy. Problem solved. Got it. This is the type of piece I would have made even if it wasn't a custom piece. Very much my style. Even that dickhead Brad would agree. Easy fix. I don't know why I can't do it on the first shot. For some reason, I always gotta struggle through everything I do. I don't know why, but it always turns out nice. The piece is awesome. The color pattern that they chose is awesome. Like, I really enjoy making this piece. I really like the colors. I like the simplicity of it. I like the size. It's a really nice piece. I think they're gonna be happy. All right, that's the end of this day. Time to fucking go home and maybe eat some dinner before I pass out.